The tree of liberty has been thirsty for too long. I am the spark, the powder, the match, the shot that rang, the line in the patch. I am the night they tossed the tea, the oath they swore to die free. You can chain my hands, you can break my bones, but you'll never own my soul. I am the fire in the midnight sky, the reason tyrants die. I am 1776, lightning, thunder, iron, and grit. Every musket, every fist. I am 1776. Oh, 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 oh. I am 1776. The flag they tried to burn, the shot that made the empire turn. I am the rebel, the Minuteman, the ink that wrote we can. We hold these truths, hear my boots on the cobblestone, hear my war cry, shake the throne. Hear my drum, you know it's near. Your reign of fear ends here. I am 1776. Lightning, thunder, iron, and grit. Every musket, every fist. I am 1776. Oh, oh, oh. 1776.
Good morning. It's Tuesday. Let's get George on here.
Good morning.
Yeah, there's George. You couldn't say good morning like me. Go hi.
Hi.
I
have to keep my knees together. Hi.
Sean's going to be here, but he'll be here about 9 o'clock.
No,
So, yeah, he's a little bit later. Yeah,
everything's very nice and happening in the world. What's going on? It's amazing.
Oh, there's nothing nice, really. Just some really crazy shit. That's what's going on. I'm saying we gotta say today Shar is having her surgery today, so I hope she comes out okay. Yeah, she needs a long road there when you have replacements on things.
Listen, I saw this the veteran that we went to see, and they gave him the letter from Trump. It was he was 102 years old. And he had a hip replacement. He was so fine at that age. It was unbelievable.
I'm surprised that like you were saying. I'm surprised they did it when you're that age because of the anesthesia. But they do depend. Some people at 102 are healthier than the ones at 35. I'll tell you that. You see some real bad 35-year-olds. But I'm gonna start out with a prayer, and then we can. I love you, Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. My God is my rock, in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. And that's Psalm 18:1 through 2. So I think that's kind of appropriate for today. So, yeah, Red, you made it. Yeah, glad you could join us today. So, I don't know. I think we're going to start out with some really weird stuff, but about how the Epstein files dropped, and there's a lot of people named in them. And one thing that surprised me in the Epstein files, I was telling George that Epstein had a girlfriend for 10 years, and it was not Ghislaine Maxwell. It's another woman, and that's who apparently where he left all of his assets. So I don't know how, it's in the files, so it's got to be true because came out of the ones that were in Congress when they dropped them. But they have her face covered up, so I don't know who she is. But it's pretty interesting that came out, because I always assumed Ghislaine was his girlfriend, but apparently not. But and then there's another tidbit in there too, was about Bill Gates. Everybody knows about that, about how he tried to. He got STDs allegedly from some Russian hookers or somebody involved with all of that. And he was going to slip his wife antibiotics without her even knowing it so that he wouldn't have to tell her. But then it all came out, and I saw an interview with her where she said that was the reason why she left him and everything, and how sad she was over finding out, something like that. I thought that was pretty awful. He really doesn't have too much ethics, and then here he is working with the World Health Organization. What the hell's he slipping us? If he'll do that to his wife, he could be doing that to anybody. I think that's pretty sick myself. He should have came clean. I don't know what you guys think about that, but yeah, USN Bannon too. I know. I want to talk about Bannon, but I got to read a little bit more before I say anything, because I don't want to get everybody in the chat all riled up about that one. You know what we're talking about, George, about Bannon? Talking about that yesterday.
Panicking that's happening. So there's a lot of stuff, not only because of the Epstein files, but a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
How much all the families were tied up with the NGOs and the billionaires. I'm talking about the Walton family and the Rockefellers and all the name families that they really don't care about us. They just make their money, and it just happens. So
yeah. But the thing about Bannon makes me believe it just because he was naval intelligence, and I think naval intelligence is almost the same as CIA. And once you're CIA, you're always CIA.
SEAL too.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. We can talk about that tomorrow. That way I got some time to go into some of the dealings that he did. Well, let's start out with this. Now we can, huh?
No, I said good morning, Mark. Mark just got on. American Mark.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Mark. Yeah. Yeah, Stacey. I know. I quit watching Bannon 2 years ago. I just couldn't take him yelling over everybody all the time and stuff. But there's been something with him. But we'll get into that tomorrow, because there's that one goes kind of down a rabbit hole.
He did say some time, so I said he did do some time because he refused the subpoena. So what's going to come out of that and everything? So we'll see what happens. Yeah, we're doing Wormhole Wednesday tomorrow. That's for sure. So I'm not telling you what it is, but we will talk about the Bannon thing tomorrow. Yeah, I know. TSM, I haven't watched Rap since Ed and Karen either, and I got banned in their chat right away, so that's why I don't go on there. I guess they didn't like what I had to say. I think that's mostly it. I'm going to play this Epstein thing, and it goes from the very beginning to the end of. It's pretty self-explanatory, anyways. So.
Oh, Lord. Can you feel it coming in the air tonight? Oh Lord, oh Lord. Well, if you told me you were drowning, I would not lend a hand. I've seen your face before, my friend, but I don't know if you know who I am. Well, I was there and I saw what you did. I saw it with my own two eyes. So you could wipe off that grin. I know where you've been. It's all been a pack of lies. And I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. Well,
I'm sorry. Wait, see, I'm looking. We gotta wait till the end of the. It's still showing on here.
So
Hold on.
showing.
No, on the What's Up Patriots. It's still video still showing before we explain. I want to. Shit. Anyway, but there was the one part that you saw with Trump on that thing, right? The carry on, but he went like this with his hands. So that means he wasn't, and he didn't do a video with him. If you notice the phone, correct?
Yeah.
So that means he wasn't in. He's not in the files. The other one with Netanyahu is the one that is controlling the power, what they're showing, but he was there. That Mother Teresa, I can't buy. That's a little bit.
Pope John Paul, that's the one that got me because I just adore him.
No, but I'm just saying, don't forget this is all done with AI, but the majority of them is like all true. I mean, it showed,
I think it's more or less telling the story of like Mother Teresa. They said, was trafficking kids and stuff too. But there's a lot to get into to unpack on that one. I'm telling you that, but that kind of explains it all. But why we played that is because it ties into what's going on in the news today with Savannah Guthrie.
Right.
Now, Savannah Guthrie's mother was kidnapped. You know how we were talking about it, something just doesn't seem right about it. And if we start digging around and you find out the Epstein files dropped and her mother was kidnapped at the same time. Turns out Savannah Guthrie was the very first one to do an interview and talk about the Epstein files on TV. And she did the interview with Virginia. I can't say her last name. I always get it screwed up. Giffoy or whatever, who was saying that she was trafficked by a Jeffrey Epstein. It was done in 2019 on Dateline, and then they did it on the Today Show. Now it's a pretty coincidental thing that her mother was kidnapped and the Epstein files dropped at the same time. And we've said the kidnapping was a distraction, but it now, like, to me, George and I were talking about this, it seems more or less like it was a warning to the news that don't you talk about the Epstein files on TV, don't ask questions, don't do anything, don't bring names up, or somebody in your family is going to disappear too. It just seems real odd that this happened.
The husband that worked for the Clintons and stuff.
Yeah. And Feldman, her husband Feldman, and he's not around. I mean, I don't know what you guys think about this. I'm reading the chat. I'm trying to go through here and read the stuff and everything, but I don't think it's a coincidence at all. I think it's all related. And the people that were in those files, there's so many that are royalty and heads of state and everything. It makes you really wonder, like with Epstein. Personally, I believe he's still alive.
Yeah, but England, we said that all the time because the body didn't have that tribal tattoo on him that he always had, the tribal tattoo. And that was one thing, and his nose structure was differently.
Mm-hmm.
Why was that minute missing from the tapes from the jail? It was like just
and then it was the jail guard that's in the Epstein files that says that all happened. That there was a van there. He said that the camera malfunctioned. Blah blah blah. But it was
put a body there. It just hang. When I did work down, I did work. I worked in NYU Medical Center. They had all the corpses you want down there. For the dental school. I mean, they were hanging around there. I mean, they could have got anybody's body similar to him, and even with plastic surgery, they could have fixed up his face to look like him. But there was a lot of stuff. Then it's amazing how the Epstein files came out, and all of a sudden somebody's got a photo of him in Israel with longer hair and stuff. I mean, everybody since the hanging happened, everybody had the doubts that it was really him. It's not only us talking about it; it's been said about years. But it's just amazing how everything came up now. With the kidnapping and you notice that the only thing that the news, 90% of the news is covering is her missing.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So, and I think all of them, Newsmax doesn't do that much of it, but Fox and everything else, I mean, there's a lot of commitment in there. Something's fishy about, especially Fox, the way they're covering everything.
Well, the other thing that makes it fishy for me too, and we talked about this one, is that the original the county police over there really started out slow. Pretty much botched the investigation from the very beginning. The FBI was supposed to go in. They prevented the FBI from going in right away. And it's almost like they're making it a sloppy investigation. This is my opinion, a sloppy investigation on purpose, just to drag this all out and cover up for things. This is my opinion and conjecture is all I'm saying. So I don't hold me to it, but to me, it really stinks. There's something really wrong with it.
Well, we summarize this whole thing because we don't want to talk about the missing woman again, like everybody else is talking about it. But the whole thing is to summarize this whole thing. It's just the way everything is happening, and it's always the way they plan it. Because if you notice now, the Clintons are answering the subpoena.
Mm-hmm.
They want it publicized. I mean, they want it live broadcast, which they wanted behind closed doors. So now either she's going to sing like a canary and say what's going on. One of the videos we're going to play later on, you'll understand how everything's going to fit into place about with the military action and stuff like that. So you could pay. What? Go ahead.
I want to play this clip about from Ro Rana about what he said about the Epstein files, because Ghislaine Maxwell took the fifth. She took the fifth yesterday when she was testifying, and then she wanted clemency, and they refused to give it to her. So this is part of why.
The man formerly known as Prince Andrew, and to Peter Mandelson, with regard to giving evidence to your committee.
Mandelson may bring down the whole government, from what I hear. He just engaged in terrible behavior. I mean, the allegations are very serious that he was working for Gordon Brown and then feeding information about UK possibly buying euros and having Epstein trade on that. I mean, it is a deeply, deeply troubling. And Epstein's, I saw this interview with Epstein's former girlfriend talking about how someone is a loser if they weren't mentioned in the Epstein files. It's a window into the elite impunity, this club. And by the way, I think this is the most vulnerable the British monarchy has ever been. I mean, I heard they were asking the Queen questions about the Epstein class. They ought to ask the King and Queen questions, and maybe this will be the end of the monarchy.
What do you think it could be the end of the monarchy?
Well, if they don't have answers, or if they're implicated with an Epstein class, not a good look for the British monarchy.
What questions does the King have to answer?
Well, the King has to answer what he knew. What he knew about Andrew. And just stripping Andrew of a title is not enough. I mean, Andrew needs to come before our committee and start answering questions. I mean, look, if you have allegations of raping a young girl, I don't think the appropriate punishment is you no longer get to be a prince. There's got to be more than that.
Do you think the royal family must have known something they're not telling us?
They need to answer, the King and Queen, and I don't understand. I mean, I don't understand the British custom, but what's up with this, that you're going and someone's asking the Queen a question, the Queen is offended that she's being asking a question? I mean, come on. She wears the same clothes, she eats the same food, she's just a human being. She needs to answer the same questions anyone does.
Congressman, what do you think of the Clintons asking for their testimony to be public rather than behind closed doors?
I believe.
Yeah.
It's so interesting too, because so many people are wrapped up into that, and it goes back to, remember when Trump went and visited the Queen, and she had him inspect the troops and not her. Remember that? And that was totally out of protocol, totally.
But there was even that thing about what the hell? She did something differently to him than she did with anybody else.
She had him walk in front of her.
Right. Yeah. To show that for something with the respect or something like that. I remember that was brought up about that, and I think she was the whole thing. Like what that congressman said. Besides him being a piece of shit, he turns around and it will take down the British monarchy. But the whole thing is that they ain't gonna bring him here to. He ain't coming here to get questioned. He's talking out of his ass.
He's got sovereignty that they can't make him.
Well, it doesn't matter if he does. They'll either deal with his own court, the own courts that they got there, or they're gonna what do you call the international.
Oh yeah, the ICC.
Yeah, the international court. They'll do it that way. Ooh, what happened here?
It's just so there's so many. The stories all intersect each other so much that there's got to be something to all of it. Now they're asking about Lutnick being in there, and I think with Lutnick, maybe that they were investigating it at that point, and Lutnick is able to, he's pretty smart. He could probably trace a lot of the Bitcoin that was moving back and forth between all of these people. That's my guess. Oh, sorry, George. I don't know where you went. He just disappeared like magic. But yeah, I'm thinking that it's going to be Rico, Denise. I really do. I think Rico is going to be what I've said it over and over and over. I've been saying it for over a year and a half or longer even than that probably. But that Rico is going to be the easiest way to get everybody, because all you have to do is prove a conspiracy, and you're mentioned in those files. I think that's how it's going to tie them all together. But I don't know. Yeah. Yes. And I agree with you. The monarchy is pretty much, they don't have the power they think they do. They really don't. Hello.
This thing popped up on me. I think you wanted to talk. You cut me off because you want to talk behind my back. Is that it? No. Something popped up on that Microsoft bullshit. Got to come up.
Oh, yeah. I get that with the video or the virus thing on here, but a Venn diagram. Yeah, I guess we'd have to get Kamala Harris to give us the Venn diagram on all this stuff, since she's so good.
There's so much shit going on with the elections about if she would the cheating that was going on. It's like even with the presidential of 2024 there was so much stuff going on. It's just unbelievable how everything's just. It's like, the calendar. What do they call it? When you drain the pasta. And you take all the shit out, you like all the water out. That's what's happening. And then all the evidence would be the pasta. I'm going to describe it as in Italian. It could be all different kinds of pasta. You might have linguine, you could have tortellini, all them. And I think everything's in there, and they're just flushing it out. They keep on putting more water on there, and it's just filtering out more and more and more. Mm-hmm. And I think, let's see, let me put this. This one video is pretty good because this is happening, that they're panicking. And then we got, after this we can put whatever you want to put on that one.
Well, yeah. Okay. This is a different subject. All right.
Yeah, but it just shows you, no, what I'm saying is, it's not a different subject.
Well,
everything's panicking. Yeah, everything that's going on. Listen to the words what he says at the beginning. Okay. Finish what you're saying then. It's okay.
I was just saying with the monarchy though, there's been movement all over the place on that, and it's not just England. It's been in Denmark and all the other countries and everything too. And the only two holdouts that really pushed back on all of that stuff was Hungary and Poland. So there's something to it with the other countries being in there and why they do what they do, especially with the mass migration. It's all tied in because of the adrenochrome and everything with the Epstein files.
Well, if Epstein worked, which majority of the times the CIA used these people to get information on everybody, so they got something on them. So I mean, I think he was involved with the CIA.
Oh yeah,
like. All the other ones, like what's his name that's in jail, Pete Diddy, he worked for the CIA.
Remember Hefner was a CIA asset. That was the whole thing, was the honeypot with him. That's how they got people. Yeah, so there's so much that goes into it. You could spend hours and hours and hours on it, but it's kind of hard to do it, without like a whole software program to connect everything. But yeah, this does. I know what you're talking about here, George. This one is good.
The whole world is watching.
Let's look into Obama the way they've looked at me from day one.
Trump will not be president.
Stop this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me. When you hold me in your arms so tight, you let me know everything's alright. I'm hooked on a feeling.
Now, the reason why the car's like that is because they're going to crash. Everybody's going to. That's what they're freaking out about. I'm watching. I got to watch the thing. So now you'll see the car that crashes, and then what happens is it's like they're crashing. It's going to come to a big. With everything.
A crescendo. That's a good word. It's going to come to a crescendo.
Yeah, and it's just gonna. It's not gonna. It's not gonna end too too peacefully. I'll tell you that. They're gonna fight, and they're gonna incriminate a lot of people. That's what the plan is. But the whole thing is, you have people. You have people that are involved, that they're delaying everything, and especially these committees. You know, there's people in the committees that are involved in all this bullshit too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they're saying too that came out in the files. I do want to bring this up because it ties into some of the things that are happening on the stock market and everything too. That
I'm going to get some water.
Okay. That Epstein is the one that invented Bitcoin, and that Bitcoin was used in the trafficking and stuff like that. So, you know, you're finding out a lot of stuff that's coming out of these files, but you have to dig for a lot of it to find it because the mainstream media they're just not covering it. So that's what goes me right back to with Guthrie. I mean, it's just the coincidence between those two things happening at the exact same time. And she's the first one to interview anybody that was that was saying about Jeffrey Epstein trafficking and about the monarchy being involved and all that kind of stuff. It's almost like telling the mainstream media, shut up, or somebody in your family is going to be next. And so I don't know what you guys think about it, but this is me. I always go down those rabbit holes, but it just seems too crazy to me. But like we always say, Rico. But so one thing I want to say though too, we were talking yesterday, we didn't go on it too much. All the outrage about Bad Bunny being on the halftime show and everything. And TPUSA got, like, I think they said the most views on YouTube in YouTube history for live views for their halftime show. So, but look at this is just a real quick video of Roger Goodell, and you can see when he realized he made the mistake of Bad Bunny.
Oh, is this? Oh, what did I do? Oh my God.
Whoops. Sorry about that. Watch. Look at his face. That's the very beginning of that. That's when they started doing all that hinky stuff and everything. Goodell realized he screwed up. So I don't know if the NFL is going to get a message from that or not, but they should. Hello, Sean.
Good morning. Good morning. I caught what you're saying there, and the only thing I would say is they're like politicians. These people, they will never tell you what's the truth, and he'll just deny, and he's going to say the numbers were good, and that's all they're going to say. They're going to hide from it.
The problem is, I think all the NFL owners should say some shit because of all the things that it represents.
Well, there's 32. Yeah, that's a good point, George. There's 32 of them, so I'm sure some of them weren't happy with the selection. That's for sure. I don't think all of them were happy with the selection.
Yeah, but they picked that moron as in charge of the NFL.
Well, the whole thing, yeah, but the FCC is already investigating the halftime show because of the words of what Bad Bunny was saying, how filthy it was. Now, Schwartz last night, what did he read He read out the word. I wouldn't read the words of what he was saying, but it was pretty
that
damn
bad?
sad.
Was it
Oh
that
yeah, it was that
He's
bad.
talking about sex with kids and all that stuff and everything else. Yeah,
That's what he, yeah.
the kid is
Yeah.
the guy is, and he said it before in Spanish with other people, and the stuff was all about satanic shit and everything. But that's why they had supposedly those people in the grass and whatever the hell they are. They would stand in there and they were worshiping whatever the stuff they were doing, and there was all hidden messages. The thing is, I'm very happy with the American people cutting off at halftime and going to the Turning Point USA because it's great. I got it. There was a spot on your head here on my screen. I had to take it off. You look like a 7-Eleven owner.
Are you talking to me, George?
Yeah. I had to just. I was thinking of coffee when I saw that dot on your head.
And I do have coffee with me. So see, I do have some coffee. So it must be the shadow. Let me see. So I feel like
No, it was on my screen.
I feel like
there was dirt on my screen.
I feel like Puxacarney Phil today. Lana left her phone in my car, and then as I left her work, I was getting a call from an odd number. I put the voicemail twice. It was Lana going, "You got my phone?" Like I took it. She left it.
Well, yeah. She's not going to take the blame for that. You should have handed it to her when she was getting out of the car, don't you know?
It was between the seat and the armrest, so I can't take blame for that. So
yeah. Well, we were talking about before you came on. We were talking about Epstein and Guthrie and tying stuff together and everything. So just letting you know what we were talking about.
Okay. Yeah.
We're not talking about that no more.
Yeah.
I mean, not talking about no more. I can't. Okay, so I can't say anything on it now.
No,
you can say something. Go ahead.
No, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It's
we were saying they're tied together.
It could be. It could
What,
be. I mean,
well, let me tell you this, and then give me your opinion because I don't know if you know it. Savannah Guthrie was the first one to interview somebody that was sex trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein back in 2019, and it was that Virginia. I can't say
right.
Yeah,
Virginia.
That's who. She did it for Dateline and the Today Show, and then now all of a sudden her mother's missing at the same time as the Epstein files dropped. So I was saying that I thought maybe this was a thing for the mainstream media. Don't talk about any of this. Don't name names. Don't ask questions, or somebody in your family will come up missing next.
You know what? It could be. I mean, that's what's things happen. Things happen, right?
Mm-hmm. I was just saying it was my opinion. That's all I was saying.
No, you know what? It's not far off. I mean, these are very powerful people, right? So they do certain things that the normal person couldn't even think of doing.
Yeah.
So,
hey, Mike Schwartz is in the chat. Maybe I think. Who knows?
No, they're just talking about Mike. They're just talking about Mike. He's not in here.
Yeah.
And Red was saying hi to Pat, Mike Schwartz's #1 fan, Pat Carr. That's what's going on.
I'll see Mike Schwartz on
he's
Saturday night.
He's doing this comedy gig, right?
Yeah, I'll see him Saturday night.
Well, who's the guy he's with? Bob Collins? Was it Bob Collins?
I think that's it. Bob Collins, yeah. So we'll have some fun. That's for sure. Have some laughs. It'll be good.
Yeah, I wish we could go, but can't. Too far.
One thing we don't hear about no more is it's up to $30 billion now in Minnesota.
The fraud, yeah, Minnesota fraud, right? Tim Walton's fraud.
The Democrats do another good job.
Yeah, Tim Walton's fraud.
Maybe they caused the kidnapping because the whole thing is just to take the thing off Minnesota. It could have been a Somalian, right? A Somalian might have went there and kidnapped her because the whole thing is that, remember how the Somalians are all
Somalians aren't that smart.
Check the daycare.
They used to take over the freighters, right?
Yep. Check the daycares. They're not being used. The daycares are empty.
Yeah, so let's go. They're not doing freighters anymore. They're getting all that money, so they might as well go for the reporter. You never know.
I don't know. Well, speaking of Minnesota, here's something I don't know of how many people have paid attention to, but Walsa is obviously in on everything. It was so orchestrated.
This was definitely the most egregious thing I have seen, maybe in my whole time working at OLA.
Office of the Legislative Auditor released a damning report finding state employees fabricating records to cover up mismanagement of money, tax money. It's another black eye for the State Department of Human Services.
27 years with the Office of the Legislative Auditor, a statement like that from Judy Randall means something. After past suspicions, she says her most recent audit proved state workers were fabricating documents to cover up mismanagement of taxpayer money.
So these documents should exist. They didn't. We asked for them. All of a sudden, they now exist. And in at least one case, it was created wholesale and backdated by 2 years to give the impression that it had always been there and been done on time.
The OLA audited the Behavioral Health Administration within the Department of Human Services, which issues grants, nearly $200 million of taxpayer money each year, to addiction and mental health service providers. But the audit found BHA was not making sure those providers were doing the work.
BHA didn't conduct the site visits. Our auditors went and conducted the site visits that BHA should have done. And we identified serious concerns that services weren't being provided.
One of the grants examined by OLA was $1.6 million issued to the Wellness Collaborative through Zion Baptist Church in North Minneapolis. According to the OLA report, BHA didn't have documentation to give auditors to show that the services were rendered. What's more, the audit says the grant manager directly profited by leaving BHA and months later providing consulting services to the Wellness Collaborative for the grant she managed, which Randall says is not illegal.
But I think it raises a bunch of ethical questions at the very least.
Representatives at Zion strongly dispute what BHA and DHS told the auditors. They tell KARE 11 DHS sought them out for the grant. They provided services which DHS workers witnessed. They gave DHS documentation, and they say now they believe they're being scapegoated. The former grant manager told KARE 11 any wrongdoing falls squarely on DHS.
Conduct a monitoring visit to make sure the services are actually being provided. These aren't rocket science types of things.
Perhaps most frustrating, this was the second audit of the Behavioral Health Administration, and many of the problems found were repeat problems.
What is it like to see these problems, make these recommendations, and nothing is done to fix it?
It's exhausting. It's exhausting.
Governor Tim Walz's office says they're grateful for the auditor for her work and for identifying these serious issues. And Democratic Senator Melissa Wickland, who chairs the Health and Human Services Committee, says that it's clear that DHS has...
Isn't that interesting?
Her answer is it's exhausting. I think that was the most pathetic answer I think I've seen on any kind of interview. Exhausting. You can tell she can give two shits, really. If they really cared, they would freaking end this shit and stop. I mean, these grants that are going to people that just crazy.
Yeah, they're handing out money. There's no paperwork for what the expenses are. There's empty buildings. It's all a big sham, and it's been going on for years, and nobody's done anything about it. And they said when Ellison was first brought in as the attorney general over there, they brought it to him, and he just buried everything. So that tells you everything. They were all in on it. They were all getting kickbacks. I'd like to. I wish I had the time. I should do it to go through like the election donations, like through the the Federal Election Commission, like and see who actually took money from what PACs, and then try to track it down. But I don't know if I have enough time for that. There's so many of them.
Yeah, we got to look. You got to make sure about the PACs. The PACs got to be. If people give donation money, they're limited to the amount that they take, but they could take the most amount from all these PACs. I mean, not thousands; they could go up to millions. So it's just. So I think they're all worried how this is going to come to a head. I think that's why now they started this bullshit with the shutdown of the government about they're picking on the DHS and the thing that's the best one is that the Secret Service will not be funded. So the Secret Service not only do that protects Trump and everybody, but protects Obama, the Bushes, all of them. So who's going to be taken out first?
Oh, I know. We should have a pool going on who's going to get taken out first.
But I think Clinton. That's why Clinton wants this thing opened instead of behind closed doors, because I think she's going to say a lot of stuff that she said and that's what I think they're worried about. So if you watch everything that's being followed now, the government's going to do a shutdown. They say maybe not, but I think so. You got military action happening. You got things that are being placed in order. You got Cuba falling apart. They're running out of money.
Fuel.
Yeah. What?
Fuel. They're running out of fuel.
Money. Yeah, money too.
Mm-hmm.
Venezuela supplied them a lot. China is. I was trying to record. I thought I recorded it on my phone. I couldn't, and I couldn't go back to the TV. But they had a woman on Fox today that was talking about how all these riots and everything's are being funded by, and all the signs that were made had the bottom thing called the Socialist Democratic Party. But the money's being funded by that guy in China. What's his name? Singh? What is that?
Are you talking about the American?
Neville
guy?
Singman.
Yeah. America. Yeah, the American riots, Minnesota especially. Now the money that's coming in from all this stuff, because it's going through all these 501c3s that they're allowed to do and everything else, they're talking about the money that's going in there because of how they're doing what it's used for. Instead of for benefits, they're using it for overturning the government and doing that. They could get him back on taxes again. What's her name's famous word? RICO.
RICO, yeah, RICO.
And they're gonna get him that way. And then because the guy is, and China's not doing so good, so they're trying to do everything they can to destroy America.
Well, their GDP I think they just got a really big GDP number, I was told last week or something. I think things have turned for them a little bit.
Yeah, well, because of the stuff the United States held back on, but the United States could cripple them really bad. I mean, if we stop buying their shit and products, I mean, that's why we got to get more of this stuff made in America. I said this before when I used to do work. I used to go all the toy manufacturers on Jamaica, Queens. I mean, they were back to back buildings, and then thanks to Clinton, made it go to China. A lot of stuff. That even Bush, where Bush Terminal is, Sean, right by 3rd Avenue there, Bush Terminal.
Bush Terminal, no.
Yeah, well, Bush Terminal is where all the piers are, and then there's the Bush.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
It's where that federal prison is. They put that federal prison. Yeah. Well, anyway, they used to have all the factories that used to do, extension cords, outlets, and all that stuff. And what it was a lot of minorities used to work in these factories. And when they did that, and they say that the Democrats are for the people, we went into
Democrats for the people,
yeah, about the colored, people, African Americans. And what they did, they pulled all those jobs overseas, and they were out of work.
Well, George, that's so many places in America. I mean, there's a bridge that's right near me, and I always tell people you could Google it. They call it goes from New Jersey in the PA, and it says Trenton makes, the world takes. Back many years ago in the Trenton area, there were so many factories, Roebling factory, GM, all kind of factories. That the company made parachutes, company made tires, all different types of factories. And yeah, with what these politicians did, selling our jobs overseas, these people had nowhere to work. They're all shut down. It's a shame. It's a shame. You're right what you're saying. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, somebody in the chat just said that they didn't know about Jay-Z was involved with the Super Bowl. Yeah, he coordinates all that.
Well, his company, Rock Nation or something it's called. They're the ones that pick the performer and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so
that's why it stinks.
NFL pays them.
Yeah, he's part of the Illuminati too. I mean, he's big into that.
You think is he part of the Illuminati?
That's right.
What?
Don't you ever the Illuminati where how they always you always can tell one of the symbolisms of who's in the Illuminati or involved in that is they take their publicity pictures and everything and they always have one eye covered like that. You didn't know that?
I don't know what you're even talking about.
Yeah, you do too. You didn't know
They're not
that.
gonna fire you. They're not gonna fire you, Jay-Z. They're not gonna.
That yes, that's part. Chat, you guys. I know Nut knows that one, but yeah, if you look, you go just Google cut one eye, and you'll see a whole bunch of celebrities, and they're all the ones that have been involved with the Epstein stuff and everything, and they cover up one eye in their things. Look at Lady Gaga, Beyonce, Jay-Z.
Lady Gaga's she's a whack job.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, she's a whack
When
job.
I saw her in the meat suit, I was like, what the heck? But that was before I knew about, how involved the Epstein stuff was. Yeah, but that one eye thing is true.
I don't know what the one eye thing. I'll have to Google it. I'm gonna go off the show if there's show, and I'll be Googling to see what it is. One eye.
Yeah, see, somebody else is saying they learned about this too, but yeah, there's a whole bunch of it. That's why I said I could do a rabbit hole I could probably do a rabbit hole for a year on the show about all this kind of crazy stuff. It's all symbolism, and that's how everything's been. Esoteric studies are all symbolism, and so you can go all the way back to Egypt and everything, and they use the same thing. And so it's like a learning thing. Once you figure it out, you can see where everything goes.
Covering one eye can symbolize a deeper understanding of inside the hidden truth. Often encourage focus on what lies beneath the surface. It appears in various cultural contexts for artistic expression, social, commodity, and can also cover secrets. And they got a big one-eye cult here or some shit.
That's the same thing with all the people with the black eye too. That's a whole nother thing.
Captain Jack Sparrow from the
I like to give a couple of people black eyes.
pirate movie.
You know what the pirate's wife's name was?
What?
Peg.
Peg.
It was a bad one. That's like a kid joke or a bad dad joke or something.
Yeah, that is.
That stinks. I know. I just thought of that.
Leave the jokes to Michael Schwartz.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Okay. I get it. Boo. I know. I'll wait for mine on Friday because I know mine are better on Fridays.
Yeah, especially you come out with nasty ones.
You better leave on Fridays.
Yeah, well, get me on a roll.
The reason why everybody laughs is because you laugh at yourself. So
I know.
The jokes.
I know. I told you I amuse myself all the time. I said I have fun with the AI too.
Inside Eye of Horus.
Yeah.
Eye of Horus. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one-eye thing, like the guy that had the thing in the head.
Is that like a
the Eye of Horus is the eye in Egyptian stuff. You see the eye, and then you see the line around it. If you look at what the Eye of Horus is, it's almost like a diagram of the pineal gland in your forehead. And if you have an open, uncalcified pineal gland, your intuition and everything's a lot better. But when they put fluoride in toothpaste and fluoride in the water, it dumbs down your intuition. And they found out, your intuition, your behavior, it kind of flatlines you up, your effect and everything. And that's why they used fluoride with the people in Auschwitz and everything, during the concentration camps. And when they found out that it kept them mellow so they didn't revolt. Didn't you ever wonder why these people never went up against the Germans? It was because of that.
What about the $1 bill's got the one eye?
Yeah, on the top of the bill, in the back, on the top of the pyramid.
$2 bill has two eyes then. No, I'm only kidding. Yeah. No, but especially people in Auschwitz, when you know you're going to be killed, there's no reason not to revolt at that point, right?
Mm-hmm. So. But they put fluoride in the things that in the water and the things they were feeding them, and then after the war they put it in our water, and I think it was terrible. That's why so many people are against fluoride. That goes right back into RFK then, because he knows all this stuff, and that's why they're taking fluoride out. Because it does do that. But there's a lot about the pineal gland, but that's a whole other ball of wax there too.
You do a pineal gland episode.
Yeah, no pineal gland. You want to play some some other videos, or you want to just?
Well, sure, because otherwise I'm going to keep rambling and going off kilter all over the place.
Shut the up.
All right, which one you want? Derek or the other one?
Do Derek. Then we can go lead into the other one if the Derek.
Okay.
Military took the systems over. They got Trump. Instead of doing 8 straight years, they did 4 years of Donald Trump visual legislation, and then removed him on purpose in a fun way and made him commander-in-chief because of the Military Justice Act. They had the legislation, they had the proof, they had everything. When President Trump says, if they're going to investigate me, they got to investigate every president before me immediately. Ladies and gentlemen, there's 2 different things playing out right now. There's the awake side, and then there's the sleepy side. 95% of America are the sleepy side. There's only a few of us that know exactly what's going on. There's a tiny few. Then there's a few who have a partial inclination. There's 2 different stories being played out. The sleepy side had to see everything played out legally in the court systems and the judicial systems and all that, because if you didn't, it would look like a dictatorship takeover. For all the awake people over here, we're sitting back cool, calm, collective, because we're like, well, it sucks that's going to be this drug out, but I know what's going on. I look at legislation. I can read. I'm not from Alabama, Mississippi, or West Virginia. Some of you out there, the last 3 states in the 50 states on education. The rest of you who are in the top 10 out there, your reading skills should be on par, and it's all in current bipartisan legislation. It's all on .gov and .mil sites. It ain't on Derek Johnson thinks he knows it all .net, and Derek Johnson sometimes sounds like a pompous ass .org, you know, whatever. It's all on .gov, .mil sites, current, bipartisan. So they had to play this out, and all the white people, we're seeing all that, and we're chill, because I'm like, it's beautiful. Instead of putting him in 8 straight years, they got 12 with 8. And it's beautiful. And I get frustrated because people say, well, how does this benefit you? Well, it benefits me when you start pulling your weight. When you start realizing material things, everything that's been put on you in this life, they've made everybody pin against each other. Well, you don't have a 3-story house and a 2-car garage and a Corvette and a Yukon, and well, you can't be successful. And they pin material things on everybody. Everything that we argue and fuss over and think we got to keep up with the Jones about, it's all material based. It's nothing to do with contentment and happiness from your heart. I know billionaires who drive the most average car, they wear the most average stuff. Then I know people who can barely put food on their table, and they got nice vehicles, barely making it, cutting here, and they got all the nice attire. Look at what our society has become.
Whoops.
You make some points.
Yeah, money doesn't buy you happiness. That's the biggest point I got out of that. You can have money and still be miserable as hell.
Well, there's a lot of rich pricks out there.
Yeah.
Rich, miserable pricks.
There is. I don't know. I think a lot of what he's saying, though, is true. The more they keep us fighting against each other and striving to keep up with the Joneses and everything, you don't have enough time to pay attention to what's going on in the news or government or anything like that.
Well, people have said that for years. Absolutely. People are so busy with, I mean, how many people are working 2 jobs, right? They go from job 1, they run home, they go to job 2, they come home, or what? I mean, maybe husband and wife. They may still have a full-time job and part-time job. One of them's watching the kids. People don't have time for nothing, so they know if they keep people bogged. That's why they always say these protesters, they're people that are getting paid because the people that are working, they don't have time to protest.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't even know. They have no what. You ask, sometimes they ask them, okay, and then there's some that are infiltrators that are just nasty. They just, they're part of the Antifa, and these are all, believe it or not, these are all nurtured and grown by the communist China and stuff like that. if you look at a lot of these rioters and stuff like that, look very close to their eyes and how many are Chinese, how many were brought here, and it's all the plant that what we talked about the other time about how we were infiltrated by China and all these communist countries that are around because of the amount of money that they put in here.
And well, don't forget, when they leave China, when they go to leave China, they're not letting them leave just to leave.
Oh no, they owe money. Yep.
They're making them do stuff to cover themselves while they're here.
They all took over Brooklyn. That's like unbelievable. You got the Muslims on one side and the Chinese on the other side. Don't think there's that stuff is not going to happen. And I think we could take this off and understand what's happening. I mean, President Trump is preparing us for a lot of stuff, and it's going to be big. What's going to happen? So, and I think I heard this to be true. This is what I heard on the next video of what they're planning on doing because they know the riots are going to come out heavy with the Democrats after Hillary starts to sing. So there's going to be a big distraction. So this is what Trump.
Yeah, when's Hillary? That's the end of the month, right? That's
yeah,
the end of this month.
Well, they're getting prepared for it. Play the next video.
Yeah. I was just gonna say give the dates. I think it's February 27th and 28th, or the 26th and 27th are the days that Hillary and Bill are going to testify. So,
I don't think they're going to say much.
Very closely. It's been confirmed the Pentagon is moving forward with plans for a domestic civil disturbance quick reaction force. Here's what we know. The plan calls for a 600-member National Guard unit divided into two groups of 300 troops. One will be based in Alabama to cover the east, the other in Arizona to cover the west. Their mission? To be ready to deploy anywhere in the nation within 1 hour in response to protests, riots, or unrest. This idea was tested back in 2020 when the Pentagon quietly stationed the same number of troops on standby in these two states. The new plan would institutionalize this as a permanent force. The Guard would operate under Title 32 authority, meaning troops remain under state control but are federally funded. The Pentagon even plans to use commercial air travel through hubs like Atlanta and Phoenix to directly and cheaply move soldiers into cities at a moment's notice. Critics warn this risks normalizing military response to domestic events, blurring the line between civil law enforcement and armed forces. Supporters argue it ensures rapid protection if unrest spirals out of control. Bottom line, a standing federally backed rapid deployment Guard force for American streets is no longer just an idea. It's on the table and might soon be in service. Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments.
There's going to be a lot of when they're worried about all the riots, and you notice that the guy in what's his name, the mayor of Chicago, there did an executive order to stop ICE from coming in, and you got the one from California did the same thing, and Minnesota, the mayor over there did the same shit. So I mean, they need, and how the excuse is going to be is that what Tom Homan was there and he talked about, it's supposed to be calming down here, but they're going to protect all the federal buildings that are there by the military, and it's not going to be the military under the National Guard under the states. It's going to be a military action under the president.
Well, let's go back to we're talking about with Hillary first, right? If she's going to talk, my prediction is you're going to hear a lot of what you heard with Maxwell, the 5th. I was told not to say. I was told not to, by direction of my counsel. I was told just to plead the 5th. I don't recall. That's the kind of stuff I think we're going to hear. I don't think it's going to be a bombshell with Hillary Clinton or Bill Clinton.
Well, why would she want it publicized?
Because I think that's a threat. I think I don't think she's going to say much. I really don't. I wish they did publicize it. I wish they did have it public, because I think you would see she's going to say a lot of that. It's going to be, I can't recall, I plead the 5th, whatever it is, to not say anything. That's my prediction. I could be wrong, but I don't think she's going to say much. Or she's going to try to say some type of innuendo that makes it like Trump was palsy with Epstein. That would be the other kick out of it. But I don't think we're gonna get much from it.
I think she's going to say, at this point, what difference does it make?
Yeah. She's been known to say that. But honestly, do you guys think? Do you guys think that we're going to have like some bombshell breaking thing from the Clintons? I don't think so. But
she's got to blame Bill, or Bill's got to blame her.
You know what I want to see? I want to see her, you know, how she's psychotic and takes psychotic medication and everything. I want to see, that's what I want to see. I want to see the stress break her so that she does that, because she will be stressed out big time.
Well, you know what? That's a good thing. Yeah, maybe the stress can get to her, but I just don't think, I don't know. I think she's going to be pretty calm under fire. I think she's already rehearsed what she's going to say. They know the questions that are going to be coming at them pretty much. Maybe they may not, you know, few may be surprises, but I don't think we're going to get much out of it.
Wouldn't it be funny if they bring her in a van and throw her like a piece of meat like they did at the 9/11 thing? She could lose a shoe, come in with one shoe on.
Yeah. I mean, what's the chat think? Does the chat think that we're going to get like some type of groundbreaking news from the Hill? I just don't think so. I just don't think so. I mean,
well, the mystery is in there. It's like I tell you, it's not gonna. I don't think anything's gonna. There's too much stuff happening. There is too much stuff happening. It's like, and like I said, I think all this shit. That's all they talk about on the news. Is about this woman being kidnapped.
I mean, you just had this thing now about the testimony about Trump talking to the I guess it was an email. Trump talking to the chief of police of Palm Beach about thank God you got Epstein and this and that. And did you see that? It just came out. Bongino posted that.
Yeah, Trump was the only one that he went to the FBI and offered to testify for the sex traffic victims, and the girls all said they wanted him to, but they never had him. He did a deposition, but I mean, there's no way he's implicated, because if he was, the left would have used that years ago, so he would have never even been president. There's no way that he could be implicated in it without him. They would have used it. You see what they do, you know. Like the Russia hoax, you know, and shit. Schiff would have been the first one running out the door saying Trump was implicated in it, you know.
Oh, absolutely. USN Air said Hillary flipping out would be great theater. I agree. That would, like what you said.
I know. I want to see it. I want to see it.
That would be great, but I just don't think we're going to see that though. I really don't. I think it's going to be no effect unless there's something that she implicates Trump on. That's the only thing I can see her trying to push. You know, well, I heard Trump was buddy with him or something. Yeah, I can see that, but I can't.
Trump dumped a lot of money in their campaigns and shit.
What's that?
Trump dumped a lot of money in their campaigns and stuff.
Well, shit, Hillary was at his wedding to Melania.
Yep.
I mean, so he was friends with them all. They all used to go to him for money, you know, and he gave to Republicans too, but he used to majority a Democrat, but that was years and years ago.
Yeah. So
you know what we're all forgetting? We're all forgetting about this other stuff that's happening. I'm gonna throw a little loophole in there. See, now this thing takes off of what? The Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the buildup of what that's happening in this country.
The fraud?
No, watch.
Rage.
Play this videotape, and then we're gonna refresh everybody's memory.
All right.
You have a video?
The religion of peace. And they act like the victims. They act like we're just here in America to, migrate and seek refuge. But no, friend, Islam does not move to the West because they need help. There are 54 Muslim states around the world, but for some reason, they never move to the Muslim nation or state. They always move to a Christian country. Why? Number one, they are here to establish Sharia law. You don't understand. The two religions around the world that are expansive by nature are not Hinduism, it's not Judaism, it is Islam and Christianity. We are commanded to go into all the world, preach the gospel, make disciples, and baptize them. Islam is commanded to go into all the world and do two things: establish Sharia law and kill the infidel. They are here to take over the political system. Islam is not a religion, it is a political movement. And that's why I no longer call it just Islam, I call it Islamism or Islamist. It is a political movement that is here to conquer and take over. They took over Egypt, they took over Sudan, they took over Yemen, and next is America. They've taken over the UK, Australia. We are very, very close. Every time I move houses, my neighbor is a Muslim. And what's next? America. Why are they after America? Because America is the pinnacle of Christianity. If they conquer America, the West will fall. If they conquer America, that is the head of the snake, and that is their biggest enemy. That's why in the Muslim countries, what do they shout? They shout, "Death to America." On 9/11 in Egypt, while we were growing up, the Muslims were not saddened to hear about 9/11. They were celebrating in the streets, dancing and jumping, shouting, "Death to America." So Islam is not a religion of peace. They are lying to you. They're a religion of war, violence, and death.
Now, the mayor, I don't have that clip. The mayor decided to speak in front of New York and talk and started saying about Prophet Muhammad.
That was yesterday we played that.
I know that, but I'm saying.
Did you watch the show yesterday, George?
No, I didn't pay attention. But I'm
Make sure
just
you give it a
saying
thumbs up. Go back and give it a thumbs up.
No, what I'm saying is because, yesterday and everything else, we are forgetting about this other plot. And this is everything that's taken our eye off the ball. I hate to bring this up.
And I agree with what you're saying, but I think there's many balls. That's the problem. It's not just one thing.
Oh, no, yeah, I agree.
There's many things, and I don't think like one thing is designed to really take the eye off the ball. I think there's just many things working in conjunction with each other, and I think like this Muslim thing, I think we have a big problem in our country with this. Absolutely. I mean, you look at Texas, right? Florida. I mean, there's a lot of states that
two Sharia courts in Texas.
Yeah, I mean how crazy is that?
Yeah, and you never thought in Texas that would happen, right?
Yeah.
And then the other thing is the way the schools are having these kids come out on protest against the ICE without the parents knowing it. I don't believe every parent is for their kid to walk out and protest for the ICE thing.
No.
We got to get we should get what's her name back on the show.
Who's that?
The Moms for Liberty.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Alexandra.
Yeah,
I've asked her, but she's been pretty busy with Newsmax. And she said she'd get back to me when she can because she's been traveling around and stuff.
Especially that with the schools and stuff. What's going on?
As a parent, your first thing with the school is you want your kids to go to school and learn skills to be better in life, not worry about walking around protesting about ICE. I mean, I would say probably 75% of parents had to be against that.
Marty King, if we don't fight back, Marty King's right. In 50 to 100 years, America will be under Sharia law. But we're going to fight it. I mean, the Crusaders are rising again. The Patriots are rising. You got a lot of veterans. There's a lot of veterans here that are retired that fought all that bullshit on the other side there. And I don't think they're going to stand by and do nothing. It's not going to happen. I'm not standing by and doing nothing. I'm not going to sit back and just complain. I'll go out what I have to do. I'm not going to sit back. A lot of people are going to sit back. And what they're doing is they're doing it with the schooling. They're doing it with educating these kids to hate America, and that's how they fall into all this trap. Look, and the best one is these white women that most of them are in the rallies that are cursing the ICE agents, and they got a lot of these women that are doing the protest with the flags of the Palestinians. Now you see the flags.
It's the liberal Karens, the liberal loony Karens.
See them coming out with the flags again, Palestinian flags again. So I mean, it's everything to bring.
You know what we need to say? You need to say from broadcast news, I'm mad as hell and we're not going to take it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's what everybody needs to say. You're mad as hell and you're not going to take it anymore. Go back to your local community and start fighting it that way. Get into the school boards, get into your city councils and everything. And that's the only way I think you can prevent Sharia law coming in. You know, it has to be grassroots, because you can look at the big government. They're not doing shit about it. They're just sitting on their thumbs.
Yep. Remember the song, We're Not Going to Take It? Remember that song back in the 80s?
They take, 100% right.
Yeah. See, I think Sean, you're too young for broadcast news, weren't you? Do you know what I was talking about?
No, I just thought you were talking about regular news. What's broadcast news?
It was a movie.
Yeah.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, it was a movie, and it was a TV anchor, and he got so pissed off, he had a meltdown on the air, and he started yelling, I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore, and because everything was a theater thing.
Oh, no, that happened before. That happened with Bill O'Reilly when he yelled, "We're doing it fucking live." Remember?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Bill O'Reilly lost it, too. Busted a nut right on TV. That was funny.
Yeah.
Well,
We're doing it live.
I always say that, God gives his angels weapons and to deal with evil and all the bullshit that's going on. And, we're going to be his soldiers. That's what I believe. Because Islam is evil, but terrible, evil. I mean, Christianity, the difference, between Muhammad tells you to kill people, that if they don't believe Islam, Christ didn't say that.
Yeah.
God
That's
didn't
right.
say
You always take it for what the word is there, right? Take it for what the word is, and tells you a lot.
Well, the whole thing is like I said, I just hope, well, I shouldn't say I hope, I'm pretty sure that people will stand up for this country, especially veterans. I know plenty that, I get calls every day. What are we going to do? When are we ready? When are we going to do this? When are we going to do that? And we're planning. Everybody's planning. There's people I have seen and met.
Baby Sean. You need a baby Sean for the show.
Yeah. We got to get baby Sean.
That's why I typed in the chat. I said, "Baby Sean." Sometimes I forget about the age difference when we do references to things that happened before.
Love Christ says false narrative.
What happened?
Love Christ.
What's a false narrative? What's she saying?
I don't know.
Baby
Maybe
Sean's
that
a
you're
false
young.
narrative?
She's saying, no, you're really 70 and you're just fooling us.
Yeah, listen, my arms are strong. I can still fight. Can't run that fast, but let me tell you something. I can shoot great.
Yeah, that's right. Your muscles in your trigger finger are never stronger. That's what I say.
With both hands too. That's what pisses off everybody.
Just don't shoot like this, George.
Oh yeah, like everybody. Yeah. The black people do that when they go. All those kids go.
That's why they never hit nobody.
All right.
Yes,
everybody. Epstein, Maxwell were evil child molesters. Okay, so loves Christ is saying they're evil. Okay.
Well, that's all.
And
look,
MK Hart said need a baby Sean doll.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, they say you look great for 74 too, Sean.
Yeah, thanks for Trump. I feel great. I don't feel a day over 55. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to bring something up because I know T. Augie, if she's still in here, she'll know exactly what I'm talking about. There's been a weird smell in Northwest Indiana, and
I thought you were gonna say at your house since George got there. I was in
Northwest Indiana and Chicago that smells like burning plastic. And now they're finding stuff on the ground that looks like spider webs when the snow's melting. So there's something to it. There was a boom somewhere at just south of Chicago, closer to Indiana. I think it was Sunday night. And then the smell has been around. Now, I smelt it here a little bit going outside, but I haven't looked outside on the ground. I'm going to do that today, but because it's going to be so warm. But I want to see look for the spider webby stuff that they're finding underneath the snow this year.
Get a picture of it.
Yeah, I got some snow in a jar in my freezer from 2 weeks ago when it got that real cold stuff. But the smell thing, it's actually made the mainstream media and everything too. So there's something to it. Yeah, they said it smells like burning wire or and some people have said it smells like a nitrate, more like a fertilizer. But and there would be no fertilizer or anything being put down now, especially with the ground frozen, because you'd just be wasting your money.
Yep.
No.
So it's I think they've been spraying and spraying. Now before that real cold snap, they were spraying everywhere up in the skies. You could see it.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's funny. You see these chemtrails so often now. It's like you don't even get shocked by looking at them anymore.
Do you notice there was a slowdown since, like, they're attempting about the government shutdown, that you don't see that many anymore?
Well, I see. Matter of fact, I saw one this morning. I was like, that's kind of odd. It was really long, and I mean, they're all really long, but this
They
was
do such nice, beautiful designs in the sky. You know, you see like the buses that they do, and angels you see, and somebody's face it looks like, and as the clouds disperse, all that shit and everything else.
Yeah.
Florida has very nice cloud constellations that they're formed.
Well, I think with Florida too, they come off the ocean, right? They come and they just all that ocean current and whatnot, right? The breeze from there.
Yeah, there's something to this with the chemtrails and everything, and the smell though, because it was what. Where is it coming from? Nobody has an answer for any of it, but it's so widespread. It's got to be something from the sky. It's not something that's a local thing, because I smelled it out here. I thought when I let the dog out and everything, but the parasite thing. Yeah, yep. There's Jilly. She said she saw the video of the parasite like things on a windshield that was covered in snow. Yeah, I think so. Look how many people have been sick.
Wait, what was that? Parasite on the windshield? There was a video.
Yeah, it's a video. Things that were moving in the snow that was on a windshield on a car in Tennessee. There's a lot of stuff. Well, they put the nanotechnology in it.
Can we find that for tomorrow?
I'll look for it.
Yeah, the worm.
Yeah,
that's the worming edition. Everything is wormy.
Wow. Yeah, it's
Wormhole Wednesday. I love doing
windshield. Turn from Wormhole Wednesday to Worm Windshield Wednesday.
Yeah, but there's stuff in the chemtrails I've got for tomorrow. I've even got a breakdown in 2018 of what was found inside the chemtrails back then. So they've been doing it for a long time, because that's where, remember Morgellons disease? Do you remember that back? What it would have been? Maybe late 90s, mid 90s. It was more, they were saying people were crazy and they were pulling red and green and yellow fibers. Maybe it was blue. I can't remember exactly the color, but they were pulling fibers. They would feel like things crawling on them and everything. And then these fibers were coming out of the skin. People were going to the doctor and reporting it and everything. And they were saying, oh, it's coming from your clothes and everything. But that was the early technology that they used to use before the nanotechnology now, where they use the metal and everything. That's what they had. It was microfibers that they would drop. And then the microfibers would actually come out of your skin. So it's all in the history. You can look it up. Yeah. See, Mad remembers that. Red remembers that too. Yeah. But see, now it's the nanotechnology, and that stuff gets into you, and it's just like the stuff that's in the COVID jab, where they keep going towards each other and make a big clump. That's why you see all the clots.
I think what do you call? I think they should have. That's the purpose. The reason why they get rid of a lot of cows, so the cows can't fart, and if they fart, they cure all the stuff in the air. But that's what it's a joke. But the cows farting.
If you think that's what the smell is in Northwest Indiana, cow farts, I don't think so. They've been smelling it for a long time.
I'm talking about cow farts help clean the air. That's it.
All right. If you like smelling farts.
No, you know what? Right? Carbon monoxide exchange.
Well, it's methane.
Over in Pennsylvania, you have that big Amish community, right? And if you drive out there, it's all horses, right? So you smell a lot of horse manure and all. And it's like it's potent.
Yeah.
But I mean, it really is potent. But I mean, I don't know of how detrimental it is to the air or whatever, because it is what it is. But I can tell you these chemtrails. I remember my dad saying when I was probably a kid. I remember him saying he putting up going, "They're spraying something up there." And that was like, maybe I was like 15 years old or so when I remember him saying that. So, yeah.
I remember saying it to people, and they look at you like you had a third eye. They thought you were nuts, but you can tell the difference between a chemtrail and a contrail. Contrails don't make like tic-tac-toe patterns in the sky and everything.
And they disappear, but they disappear pretty quick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they disappear very quick. And
it's really vapor. It's really vapor is all it is.
Yeah.
That's what they want to tell you, that it's the planes. It's not that they're trying to spray shit to kill us in the air. God forbid.
What is he doing?
What are you doing, George?
You don't know what he's doing.
George, you just can't get up and walk out during the show. What's the matter with you?
That's that chemtrail stuff, though, like the nanotechnology. Part of that was that they were testing that a long time ago, because that nanotechnology, once they turn on 6G, that's what's going to connect you to the Internet of all things.
Nanotechnology. What even is nanotechnology?
Nanotechnology is it's the small metallic things that are in the chemtrails, and it actually gets into your blood system and everything, and then they all what do you want to say? Congregate. They're attracted to each other and they congregate, and that's how they would have the electronic hookup for you with 5G and 6G. So if you have that in your system, and they want to use like a psychological, like the microwave weapon the military uses, where they turn it on and you feel hot. You have that in your body, you're going to get hotter even faster. And if you have that in your body and let's say they wanted to do mind altering things, they tested that out in the Southwest years ago on a whole town. And the people all were hearing voices in their ears and all that kind of stuff. And that's where that comes in. Once that's in you, they can use that to manipulate you.
The example you just used with about like what they did in Venezuela with that's actually really makes you think. It really does. It really makes you think. I mean, that's a great example of it. It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes you susceptible. You don't have any of that in your body. You're not going to react as strongly as you would if you do. And it's a connection for them. And there's a whole studies and everything that have been done, peer-reviewed ones. I've seen them, and where they do that. And the whole town, people thought they were all going crazy and everything because they kept hearing voices and stuff. But it makes a lot of sense. Like with assassins, they could hijack them that way, put those messages in their head so they think they're schizophrenic, and they go and do something like that. And how many of them say, "Oh, I don't remember doing that. I don't remember this. I don't remember that." It's a way of manipulating. That's like MK Ultra stuff again.
Yeah.
But they're doing it. The military does all that kind of stuff.
Well, people have been trying to manipulate people since the start of time, right? I mean, it's and they've probably only perfected their craft even more. So, especially with technologies.
I think like the stuff that we see now, if we had any idea what they really had, like nothing about like what you're saying, like with Venezuela, none of that was ever publicized unless you were really digging around for things about those type of weapons. But like they said, they didn't even know what hit them. It was like in the bloody noses and all that kind of stuff. But I think it was Peter Ducey one time. They even, he tested one of those microwave weapons out on, I think it was on Fox and Friends, on a weekend, and they showed him, and he said right away you could feel it. It's like you just automatically get super hot, but there's different things they can do with those.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is a fast show today. I don't know. It seems that like when we go an hour and a half, it does seem to go faster for me. I don't know. I think it's because we can get more into some of the stuff.
Must be the nanoparticles.
I had to disappear.
Where'd you go, nano? Where'd you go, nano, George?
I was looking for the smell.
Searching for the
You're
smell.
looking for the smell.
That's funny.
I don't know. This stuff, see, a lot of this stuff is really interesting, and you won't hear it anywhere else. They won't talk about it very much. I don't know why.
The reason why they do that, they don't want to give the answer.
Well, yeah, but
they have to be committed with something, right? They have to say. They either have to explain it or they have to say something about it. I mean, they showed the planes that with the jets that had the chemtrail, the stuff to put out the chemtrail.
Well, you figure all the pilots probably signed NDAs, and they're not going to do it from the United States. They're going to do it from an offshore island. There's no way, because then
all over the place they could take.
They use drones.
But what gets me is when I see these trails from commercial aircraft. I don't know if commercial aircraft are involved in doing any of that kind of stuff. And
No, I don't think so.
So I got that flight tracker. So sometimes I'll see something, and I'll be like, oh, you know what? Let me see what plane that is, and I'll look up the flight tracker, and I'll see maybe a commercial airline. Some things could be, from evapor or from exhaust or whatever. I guess it could be, but when you see these smaller planes and there's just a long line of something, you got to wonder what the hell that shit is.
Well, there's even, if you ever looked, there's black chemtrails too. There's that come out.
Can't be racist. They only can make a white.
That's the DEI chemtrail. Is the black one.
You see DEIs and everything, even in chemtrails.
Blah, blah. Yeah, like Ted Williams still. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Matt is saying commercial aircraft have reported the spraying. I've seen some of that too, but I don't. I think like the majority of it is done with drones now. Pilots would come out and somebody would leak if they were really doing it and not be afraid.
Well, they do leak. They do leak.
Yeah, leak in the back.
That's right, major leak.
George, speak of leak.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so much stuff that the military does like that they always say we're crazy, and then it turns out to be true. Just like
what's Area 51, right? I mean, look at all the people that said they've seen stuff around there. There's definitely things that are flowing out of there that are top secret.
That's a funny place to go to.
Yeah,
that's a place I got to go visit. I haven't done that. I take a ride.
I've got a picture of the Jane airplane from Area 51.
A what?
The Jane airplane. That's the airplane that has the blacked out windows, and it takes all the employees to Area 51 every day for work. They're out of McCarran Airport in Las Vegas, and they park way on the private side of the airport. And I went around the back way, and I got a picture of it. But it's just a plain, unmarked gray plane. And all the people, they get on the plane, the windows are blacked out and everything, so they can't see anything. They fly them into Area 51 for work, and then at the end of the day, they fly them back into Las Vegas to McCarran. There's a lot of them.
Talk about a commute.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. But Area 51 isn't Area 51 anymore. They got someplace else because otherwise they wouldn't let it get publicized so much anymore.
What about HARP? They don't talk about the HARP either, right? The one that controls the weather.
Yeah, HARP. I could go on and on about HARP. You see all the no, you see all the waves in the sky when you see those real ripply, like the clouds, like that.
You ever see those clouds come across the water? I mean, they look spooky. I mean, look like an ocean, like a river coming in with the black, gray clouds behind it. It's all white in the front and the black, gray clouds behind it. The storms when they come in, unbelievable. And that's what people don't realize, how powerful these storms are. People take it for granted. We don't want to talk about August 12th.
Mother Nature is tough.
You don't fool with Mother Nature.
Yeah, we're practicing.
That's one mama you don't mess with.
Yeah.
And watch the two black holes hitting each other. I mean, it's going to be interesting if it happens and that.
Oh, that's our we'll talk about that one tomorrow, because that's a good wormhole Wednesday thing too.
What's that?
Two black
people. You got to lose gravity for 7 seconds.
In August this year. And NASA knows about it. They know all about it.
So, Project Anchor.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't wait till we talk about that. I want to learn about that. I don't know what's
we'll talk about that one tomorrow.
Isn't the NASA launch happening very shortly?
No, they stopped it because of something with the weather. They're doing it in March.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're doing it in March.
Hopefully it happens when I'm down in Florida. I'll get to see it. That'll be good.
Yeah, well, we have to cut off right at 10 today, so we have to go. So if you want to go ahead and get the raid ready, that'd be nice.
All right, goodbye, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Arrivederci.
Same French.
Save what?
Savoir. Oh, where did George go?
You gotta leave at 10. So this is for Wormhole Wednesday for tomorrow.
What happened? I don't see it. Oh, I hear it now. Okay, I couldn't hear it.
Yeah, it takes a minute to you have suspicious mind.
We're in Schwartz's show, so it's gotta be.
Why can't you see what you're doing to me?
Well, you guys drive safe.
When you don't believe a word I say.
Okay, see ya.
Bye-bye.